and I am representing the We Deserve Better Workers Assembly. I'm not going to go into a long description of what we're about, but I will say a few brief words before I introduce Daniela Longchamp. First of all, we were formed on September 1st to take up the issue of the unorganized, especially low wages in our city and in our state. And we are conducting a $15 an hour minimum wage campaign. And when we heard, and I have to congratulate these two people because they weren't on the list of people we like to thank, but I think that Amy Millar deserves a big round of applause. And also, Kermit Leibensberger, because it was Kermit Leibensberger, who's a member of the Workers' Assembly, who brought this to our attention. He's also a stellar union rep, shop steward with UFCW Local 1994, and he brought it before the Assembly, and we all voted that we wanted to take up this cause when we heard how these workers were being abused and exploited by Veolia. It was so outrageous that they don't even make minimum wage. Here we're asking that the minimum wage be raised to $15. And these brothers and sisters don't even make minimum wage and sometimes clear less than that. Now they're going to tell you in their own words their story, so I don't want to waste a lot of time. But we felt we had to move in 1 week to get this organized because two, I think maybe three of them now, or two, have been fired for simply speaking out. They have a right to join a union, and we know that. So we felt we had to act real quick. And also, after the tragic death and passing of Nelson Mandela, we felt what better thing to do than to have a caravan in the name of Nelson Mandela to honor his legacy, especially when you consider that Veolia is abusing immigrant workers from West Africa. So that is a little bit of the history to this demonstration. I'm going to turn it over to my co-chair, Amy, before introducing Daniela Longchamp. But let Amy tell you in her words why Local 1994 got involved.
Hey. We heard about, we here at the union heard about these workers a few months ago, and being involved in the labor movement, we hear lots and lots of stories of worker abuse. And I've been doing this for a while. Folks that I'm working with now have been doing it for a lot longer. We've been down organizing in Smithfield, other places around the country, and frankly, I have never heard more outrageous stories of worker abuse than I have right here in our own backyard at SuperShuttle. Again, these are workers that are primarily immigrants that came here, as they will tell you, to pursue the American dream, and they got a nightmare instead. They're facing a situation where they, in fact, have had to spend large amounts of money and go into debt to get a job with SuperShuttle. After that, SuperShuttle has their hands in their pocket for almost everything you can imagine. $500 a week for a system fee just to get fares. They have to get their insurance through a SuperShuttle subsidiary. They have to lease their vans from SuperShuttle. The interest rate they're charged if they have to go into debt for their franchise fees is 15%. And in fact, if SuperShuttle could figure out a way to charge these folks for oxygen, we'd see an oxygen fee on their payouts. It shocks the conscience. We've had workers who've had cancer, who've had leg amputation, fired. The folks that have been fired have gotten no money back in terms of the money, the huge amounts of money they've invested in what they're sold as a franchise. I could go on and on and on about this, the amount of abuse, but you don't need to listen to me. We've got a brother right here who a few weeks back said enough is enough, and along with about 80 other drivers took part in a peaceful, legal demonstration, and two of them were terminated. One of this is my brother, Tony, or Koku, and we want to first of all say, brother, we're going to stand with you on this fight, and I'm going to allow him to say a few words.
Ladies and gentlemen, for coming. I appreciate your support. I used to be a SuperShuttle driver. I drove van 784. I'm surprised America, United States is a freedom country, and they still allow a company like SuperShuttle are doing slavery. I'm surprised. Honestly, we SuperShuttle driver, we are used as a slave. When you come to this company to be a driver, they tell you, you're going to sign a franchise agreement that will be your own business, and it costs $24,000 for 10 years. You need to sign it before they can hire you. I signed a contract for 10 years in 2005, and this contract supposed to be end up in 2015. The franchise is no one, it's not a franchise. I was abused, and not only me, the whole driver are abused. They take your money, 24,000, they say they are selling the franchise, I pay 35,000, and I never get any penny as a dividend in that money I invest in this company. We are abused in all the line, from the van, we are leasing from them, the insurance is for them, we are buying the gas from our pocket to do the job. You can go home at the end of the week with nothing, because at the end of the week they say the whole job you did, they need 10%, they need 5% to the airport, they put a computer in your van, 500 a week. At the end of the week, you go home with nothing. I know some of our drivers, their wife left them. They broken their house because of SuperShuttle abuse, because the driver cannot stay at home with the family. The kid cannot see the driver. The wife cannot see his husband. And at the end of the week, the husband came at home, said, I got nothing. He can show the check. There's nothing on the check. It's what we are living. And then we are a few, we say, okay, let us organize the drivers to fight for the well-being. And then our target on the list, last November 6th, we just drove through inside the airport to attract the people's attention of what we are living, what we are facing with SuperShuttle. And then they just terminate my franchise, even without them. My money is still even with them. I didn't get my money back. I didn't get any dividend. I didn't get any interest on my money. I am outside. Let me tell you, before you can do SuperShuttle job, you need to devote yourself to this company 24 hours a day. Now, my daughter, if my daughter here, he can witness, every 3 months, I get the 2 legs swelling. I have a low back problem. I have inside chest problem. I have my heart blood pressure very high. Right now, I am under doctor surveillance right now. So we want the whole world to know what is happening right now with this company, SuperShuttle. We want the whole world to know that this company is still practicing slavery in the United States in 21st century today. That is unacceptable. Nobody can accept that happened to the United States. Please, I want the whole world stand and stop SuperShuttle. Keep on using the people as a slavery. Thank you very much.
Has been a courageous leader for actually a couple of years now, fighting for justice for these drivers.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want to thank you all for coming up. Thank you for showing up, each one and everyone here. I say a very big thank you. I can't say much because it has gotten to a point where we will need the whole world to understand our situation. And if we are in the modern world where we believe slavery is being abolished, then you can Google and see if we are labeled as corporate slaves. I'm not surprised we have good people like you to come and stay in for us. I'm overwhelmed I'm overtaken by surprise to see a great support like this. And I know I have been warned that I can't do this, because I was told this morning that if I'm seen on any video taking part in any activity by the union, my contract will be terminated. So as I stand with you here and talking with you, ears are listening, cameras are rolling. If they terminate me, the whole world is going to hear about it.
That's right. That's right.
Because does it mean we don't have a voice? Does it mean we can't protest? Does it mean?
Patrick, I am with you. We are with you. We are supporting you.
We're all with you.
I thank you. And I think we are going to see more of this. And I'm going to stand. And I believe if we win the case, we are going to join you. Whether I'm alive or dead, we're going to be part of you. And I thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Are we with them?
Yes.
Are we with them?
Yes.
Are we going to fight until we win?
Yes.
I just want to fill people in who got here, but before doing that, I wanted to make sure that we recognize some of the support that has flowed in. Not all of the support, because Josh from UFCW is going to talk about some of the political leaders, elected leaders, and those who want to be elected. He wants to recognize them in particular, and I might miss somebody. But I wanted to at least recognize some of the groups. The Southern Christian Leadership Conference, a greater Baltimore chapter, has offered their support and signed on. The National Lawyers Guild of the Labor and Employment Committee, the Alliance for Retired Americans, Fund Our Communities, Progressive Maryland, the Baltimore Nonviolence Center, Reverend Meredith Moyes, and also Dr. Marvin Cheatham, who is also a civil rights leader and the past president of the NAACP and the National Action Network. So support is gathering, and we are really talking about a next step. So if people see the clipboard that's circulating, this clipboard, sign your name. UFCW 1994 and the Workers' Assembly will be sharing the information along with the drivers to plan our next action. So make sure you sign up. Even if you're she has been instrumental. She is a leader in the minimum wage campaign of the We Deserve Better Workers' Assembly, and we really wanted to hear from a voice of the future, our young people, Daniela Longchamp.
Thank you, Sharon. So my name's Danielle. I'm from the Baltimore People's Power Assembly, which is there's actually a national network of people's assemblies that fight for working people's rights and needs and to put them above the wealthy 1%. So I just wanted to say that we're just here in solidarity for the workers. You are so brave for speaking up, especially when companies create such fear against that. I wanted to mention that when the school bus drivers in Boston began speaking out to Viola, also called Via Liar, I suggest we all call them Via Liar, right? Well, when they started speaking up in Boston, when the company Viola didn't follow their labor contract, they in Boston they fired 5 of their labor leaders, and it's no coincidence that here Sammy and Kokovo also. Yes. Also, same thing happened here, and it's really just because the company is scared. They're scared of us coming together right here, right now, and they know that this is wrong. What's going on is really human trafficking, or another word for modern slavery at its worst, which is capitalism at its worst, just putting profit before people. And I just wanted to mention that when I was thinking about what I wanted to say today, I decided to call the human trafficking hotline. And they were just so interested, and they really want to speak to some of the workers, because what's going on is slavery. I mean, it's debt slavery. There's workers who have cancer that are not allowed to turn over their franchise. They aren't even having access to a public bathroom. It's just so degrading and so unnecessary. So we will not give up. This is an international struggle. There's a worldwide fight against fuel, and we're part of it because of all their environmental abuses and labor rights abuses. So thank you all for coming out, and another shout out to our workers here because they're really brave and we couldn't do it without them.
Good afternoon, sisters and brothers. What's disgusting?
Union busting!
We can do better than that. What's disgusting?
Union busting!
What's disgusting?
Union busting!
What's disgusting?
Union busting!
Very good. Thank you. I just want to, great showing. Thank you for coming out. I know if many of you are like me, I have to go out and do Christmas shopping, but there is no other more important place to be than where we are right now. So let's give ourselves a round of applause. Unfortunately, our president, Gino Wren of UFCW Local 1994, is unable to make it today, but I do want to give the opportunity to our Secretary-Treasurer, Yvette Cuffey. She would like to say a few words, so real quickly.
I wanted to thank you all for being here. We need to thank ourselves for being here. There's no greater cause than to support these workers. When I heard about the plight of these workers, I found it unbelievable that in this day and age that workers could be treated this way in this country. I am a child of the civil rights movement, so I know firsthand what it feels like to be treated differently, to experience inequity, to experience disrespect, to experience just being treated a particular way because they can do it. This is wrong, and I don't believe that there is any decent human being who would take the time to hear the plight of these workers and come out and support these workers. We need to quadruple this group. We need to not stop until we succeed at helping them getting their rights in the workplace, decent wages, fair working conditions, health benefits, everything that any worker who gets up every morning and goes to work deserves. So I'm happy to be here, and this season is not about receiving, it is about giving, and that's why we're here. Thank you.
Quickly, our candidates that are running for office are out here and show us solidarity, as well as elected officials. And I also want to afford everyone, those people, the opportunity to speak very quickly if they would like.
Councilwoman for Baltimore City 7th District. But I can tell you that I've been a union member for more than 20 years. I am a union person. I believe in people having rights. I believe that we have a right to assemble, we have a right to speak out, and we have a right to fight for what we deserve so that we can have proper wages, good work environment, and everything else that good workers should have. So I'm definitely here to stand with you as a union person. I am here to stand with you and support you, and I hope that this will result in better action. I hope that this will result in the company looking at what they're doing and making a change, because that's what it's all about, us coming together, fighting for our rights. So thank you so much for including me, and I hope to see you again. But I hope that the next time we come together is to celebrate victory. Thank you.
When you go to work, you expect to get paid, not to pay the boss, right? When you go to work and ask questions, you expect to keep your job, not be fired. And when you have to go to the bathroom, you expect to be able to go and have a safe, clean place to do it. So this is a really simple campaign. Thank you all for being out here, and I hope we're back celebrating, like Belinda said, a great success. Thank you.
This is just the start of what I would like to call a campaign to shine a light on the darkness of corporate greed. And from the paved lots of BWI to the halls of the State House in Annapolis, this is just the beginning to continue to shine the light on the darkness of corporate greed. And so with the help of UFCW and McGeo, we're going to continue to do that. So thank you so much for coming out today, and I look forward to continue to work with you.
I'm the attorney who's represented this group for the last 4 years. So this is our 4th Christmas doing this. And it's really nice to see other people joining in now because of it. This has been a very lonely struggle, I will tell you that. And these guys have gone through so much. And they're incredibly brave people who you gotta be just when you're not making any money at all, and when you still come in and when you still work and you do it in the face of your getting fired, that takes a lot of guts, and I have the most respect in the world for these guys. I'm really hopeful that we can prevail in one or another forum. I know we will be filing a civil rights lawsuit, actually, against MAA and SuperShuttle as a joint employer because, believe it or not, they had one driver, Benemola, who now has cancer and couldn't drive his van. Let someone else drive it. He wrote to the vice president that they were engaging in slavery, and he was terminated. His lease was terminated, even though he wasn't driving, for actually just making that one statement. So that tells you how bad it is. I am just very hopeful that with your support and your continued support and people putting pressure when they can put pressure upon union officials, upon elected officials, upon anybody that you know that can do something, we appreciate it greatly. So thank you for coming out.
The Maryland legislature, I just want to be very clear. I am with you. We are with you. The rights of our workers is critical to everything we do here in Maryland, and we're going to stand with you until victory. This is not that complicated. We have workers being abused. We have workers being fired for organizing. We're going to fight with UFCW Local 1994 to make it right, and we're going to keep fighting until we win. I'll meet you back here then. Thank you again for having me.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is great to be here, and I want to thank the men and women who are here today in support of the workers, and my thanks to McGeo for bringing this issue to my attention and to the Maryland General Assembly, and now we are going to take action. And I have to say, the more I have learned about this company and what they've been doing, I've been reminded of a cartoon show that I used to watch when I was a kid, and I know it's going to be familiar to all of you. It featured a cute little skunk named Pepe Le Pew, and there was always a cat in every episode that somehow ended up getting a white paint stripe down its back so that it was mistaken as a skunk. But that's what came to mind, because what I've realized is that here we have a skunk trying to disguise itself as something else. So they've taken black paint, run it down their backs, and they're trying to fool everybody into believing they've got something different than the typical employer-employee relationship. They're saying, oh no, we're a franchisor and these drivers are franchisees. Therefore we can skirt the unemployment laws. Therefore we can skirt the wage laws. Therefore we can abuse and take from these people what little bit they are earning. But here's what happens. You can paint that white stripe black on the skunk, but it still stinks. And that stench is starting to spread. People are beginning to figure it out. When you sell a 10-year franchise on a contract that's only 5 years long, when you're charging outrageous interest rates of the workers who are out there every day doing the business that's making this company successful and profitable, you smell the stench and you know this is really a skunk. So we're going to, in the Maryland General Assembly, working with all of you here today, to continue to ensure that this skunk is fully revealed. And when you see the SS on that, it's not SuperShuttle, it's Super Skunk. And that skunk reeks. So thank you all for being here today. And we're going to move upward and onward on this issue. And we're going to make sure everybody knows that's a white stripe on that skunk. Thank you for being here.